This is a Getty podcast.
Hi, I'm Lilit Sadoyan, the host of OM, our museum mindfulness meditation podcast, Getty's first video podcast. Welcome to this deeper dive where we explore the themes of our weekly episodes with experts in everything from gardening to the history of colors.
The moment you can nurture your mindfulness is not limited within the practice of, fancy Zen-like sitting meditation. But any moment could be your mindfulness practice.
This week we did a cleaning meditation inspired by Jean-Baptiste Greuze's The Laundress. I spoke with Buddhist monk Shoukei Matsumoto from his home in Japan. He's author of A Monk's Guide to a Clean House and Mind. We talked about his philosophy on cleaning as a meditative and caretaking practice. Now let's dive in. Shoukei, thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast.
Hi, Lilit. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a real pleasure for me.
And for me as well, too. Thank you. So, Shoukei, in your book, A Monk's Guide to a Clean House and Mind, you discuss cleaning and specifically polishing floors as a means to clean the earthly dirt from your soul and to polish your heart and mind. This really resonated with me. So, I was wondering if you could just speak a little bit more about that.
Sure. So let me ask a question. So do you like sweeping or on the floor?
I actually really love sweeping. It gives me great satisfaction.
So we are like-minded people. So I also love cleaning and sweeping because um it's like a meditation in motion, right?
Mm.
So yes, at the end of the practice, we find that the floor is clean, but the process itself has a meaning.
Mhm.
So it's a uh, while I'm cleaning, I can immerse myself completely in the practice of sweeping. So this makes my mind clear.
Mhm. Yeah, so it sounds like a direct impact on somebody's mind or even their soul, their consciousness.
Yes, you could say so. Uh, but at the same time, what I want to emphasize is that, there is no end in the practice of cleaning.
Mhm.
You you could imagine when you visit a Japanese temple, which looks impeccably clean. Okay, so monks in this temple must do this with 100% effort to clean everything 100% impeccably. But if you uh, practice cleaning as a finite game which has ends, and in this mindset you kind of fight against the dirt, right? uh,
Yeah.
but at the end of the practice you define, oh, there's no end in this practice, because once you assume, okay, this is the end of cleaning, at the moment the leaves fall. So you never complete cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, the work is never done, of course, and I think that's why we call it a practice, essentially.
Hmm. Hmm. And the practice has no end.
Right. What you're saying is reminding me of one of the central tenets of Buddhist philosophy, which is about non-striving, right? This kind of shift from doing to being. And I'm wondering if you could speak about that
Mm.
concept of non-striving, that philosophy of non-striving in relation to cleaning. How do we account for non-striving in our cleaning?
Do you know the meaning of the word Buddha? Um, Buddha means um, the one who who has no attachment. But everybody, including me, has an attachment as long as you are human being. I'm attached to the future. I'm attached to the past. Um, every moment, my mind is easily um, captured with the the anxiety over the future or the
Mhm,
regrets on the past. So my monkey mind is very naughty, so
mhm,
easily goes to the uh, past, future. So you know the meaning of cleaning practice, um, is getting yourself grounded in this very moment, right here, right now,
mhm,
right? So, which uh, makes you less attached to something. And specifically in today's world, we are always striving for a certain purpose, right? But, essentially, the meaning to have a purpose, goal, dream, whatever, essentially it means you have something, or there is something which you don't have right now, right?
mhm.
Which is not fulfilled yet.
Right.
So this way of thinking um, makes you uh, far from Buddha state. So essentially, for the people living in today's world, I think the practice of cleaning is keeping yourself away from goal-oriented mindset in many cases.
Mhm. So would you say that when you're cleaning, that there are no goals associated with that part of the practice?
Um, that's a good question. So, when we clean, there is a certain direction. I mean, when I give a broom to someone, nobody try to make the state of this room more messy, right?
Mhm,
Mm. So there is a certain direction, but there is a saying in a Japanese monastery, hachikujo, which means uh, don't make 100% effort. Just um, just make your effort as 80%, 90%, because the notion of 100% is just illusion.
Mhm.
The notion of 100% effort is based on finite game mindset,
Mhm.
right? It's, in other words, it's a binary thinking. So
All or nothing.
mhm. Yes, all or nothing.
And it sounds like with focusing on the 100% that there's a lot of ego attached to that as well.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And it sounds like also cleaning as a means to ground into the present moment, right?
Mhm.
And ground ourselves in the present moment. So I'm wondering if you have any advice or suggestions for our listeners who would like to practice mindfulness while doing their chores.
Um, okay. So if I come back to the this picture, uh, laundress. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not that familiar with the art, but I guess in the time uh, when this picture, this painting was created, the the audience or the people who saw this painting was kind of noble class,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yes.
the but the uh, the the subject of this painting itself is a kind of daily routine in the
Correct.
in the in a people's class, right?
Correct.
Hmm. So in that sense, there is a separation. You know, the people who looked at these paintings were separated from the subject of this painting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the the beauty of this painting is the the lady in this picture looks happy and strong. Hmm. So um, these days, um, many people are getting liberated from the works thanks to AI robots. Maybe you know we have cleaners and laundry machines, and so we are getting liberated from the daily routine. But the at the end of the day, the question is, um, okay, if you are liberated from these house chores, then what do you do? Mhm. As you may know, may not, the life in the monastery in Japan is full of daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
The monks in a monastery doesn't doesn't immerse themselves 100% with fancy mindfulness meditation practice in sitting, but what they actually do is just daily life, care of their habitat in a monastery. Of course, they put some minutes, some hours in the practice of mindfulness sitting, but they put more time on cleaning, gardening, cooking, and so on, right? So, um, these things like laundry or cleaning um, are not something we I want to avoid, but I can change, I can turn any single moment in our life, whatever you are doing, into mindfulness practice as long as uh, you do it with um, us with a focus.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yes, and intention, right?
Intention. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great point. This is the real threat in our society, I believe. Um,
Mm.
in this attention economy, our attention and intention are stolen for many hours in our everyday life. So this is a real threat.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yes, and the opportunity to practice mindfulness, or the practice of mindfulness itself, is a way to reclaim that attention and intention, in my mind.
Yes, yes. And you remember the fact that so the mm, the moment you can nurture your mindfulness is not limited within the practice of fancy Zen like sitting meditation, but any moment could be
Right.
your mindfulness practice, or uh, to retrieve your autonomy, agency with full attention and intention uh, in everyday life.
That's exactly right. Well, Shoukei, you've given me so much to think about, especially the next time I pick up a broom or a towel and start to clean. I'm so grateful for all of your insight, and just want to thank you again for joining me on the podcast today.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to visiting your museum to see this lady in laundry. uh,
Please, anytime, you be my guest.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. To find the related meditation and see images, transcripts, and additional resources, visit our website at getty.edu/om. That's OMMM.